So this whole Joe Biden debate thing, and then this week the interview with Hunter is what brought this back to my mind. Do you all think there's any possibility whatsoever, maybe from internal polling or from fundraising numbers, that do you think he threw that debate on purpose? Do you think maybe he saw the trends and just knew that he couldn't win? And I mean, now they're talking about this. Hunter Biden said he was on Ambien, which seems like the worst advice in the world to give an 80-year-old candidate right before a big debate. And he had done the State of the Union and had no issues just earlier that year. So do y'all think there's any possibility that he just saw trends and thought, maybe I need to make myself an exit?
0% chance for me. And I'll tell you, I said during the whole campaign, Joe Biden's cognitive decline was not as bad as Republicans said, and significantly more than the Democrats said. And he had good nights and bad nights. And they thought he'd have a good night on the debate. He had a good night at State of the Union, but he didn't. And I think whether it's because he took drugs or was exhausted or just the bad luck of the draw, two things are, I feel as strongly as I do about everything. I try to have an open mind. He did not throw the debate, and the people who had him debate did not do it because they knew he'd do bad and they'd have time to get him off the ticket. The people who had him debate looked at the data and said, we have to change the dynamic. We can't win the election unless we change the dynamic. You have to get on the stage and win. They rolled the dice and they lost. Steven, thoughts on the prospect that Joe Biden purposely tanked himself?
I agree with Mark. There's no chance of it, and it had been bubbling for a long time. I was in a relatively small room with Joe Biden in February of the election year, and it was clear to me then that this is not a candidate who's ready for prime time and ready to actually do what would become a grueling presidential campaign. And so for me, it was just a matter of time when the truth would come out into the public, and the debate was the moment that happened. And as Mark referenced, the campaign was trying to change the dynamic. RFK Jr. was quite ascendant at that time as well. They wanted to just say, these are the two candidates. That's why they rejected the precedent of working with the Commission on Presidential Debates, created this early debate in June, which both of those things I think were a huge mistake on their part. And I just think, Chris, the truth came out in the debate, and it was long overdue.
Yeah.
Want more great clips like that? I've got an idea. Hit the subscribe button, be part of the Two-Way community, never miss a clip. And you can always watch our full episodes, join them live, go to twoway.tv.